Hey, this is Dale Hensel, back with the triangle. What we're doing today is talking about the triangle. The triangle is our key strategy. It's what we focus on, when, and where. So let me tell you a little bit about what the triangle kind of represents. What it does is it represents our overall three-part strategy that we use whenever we're building a funnel, whenever we're building anything. We have a very simple strategy right here that's called the triangle. We also call it, well, this is just basically the most important parts that you should be focusing on in your business. Yes.
Okay.
No, I like the fresh air because we don't have the fan. But I am just waiting until...
First one sounded good.
Was it okay?
Yeah, that sounded really good.
Okay, guys, I am recording. Take care and go outside or something. Or really low voices and stay in there. What is this? Okay. Still recording. All right. Hi, this is Dale. Okay, let's back up here. Hey guys, this is Dale Hensel, and today we're talking about the triangle. The triangle is really simple. It's our high level strategy focus. Where do we put our effort, and what do we put it on, and why? Well, it's pretty simple. When you have audience, monetization, and acquisition, that is our high-level focus. And I'm going to go through kind of what we're going to be doing later on in the course and how we're going to be focusing on audience. First of all, of course, what is an audience? You got to know what an audience is, how it works, and how it's different from a lot of people and what they expect. An example is this. An audience is a group of people who are collected together and categorized under broad interest or commonly shared goal. It's a group of people who are coming together, right? They're maybe there to watch a movie or to see maybe to watch a concert, or they have a shared hobby, but that's an audience. It's a group of people. It's actual people. And that... You can define an audience, of course, by niches or pain points or demographic. What I like to do is I like to really focus in on an audience. Some people really like to focus in on audiences. I like to focus on mass markets. Some people like to define an audience, really by their niches and focus in on the niches. I like to focus on mass markets just because there's so many more people there. It's kind of like an ocean. You're never going to run out of people no matter how many buckets of water you take out of the ocean. So that's why I like mass markets. That's why we were able to sell so many products in the online. It was mass markets, and those are awesome. So I also focus on demographics because they tend to be a little bit broader. An example is you might have people who play the piano or a niche even all the way down to like play jazz piano, right? And you want to focus there, and you may have a product for them and you're trying to sell them jazz piano products. Well, that's great, but I prefer to focus on a demographic because I found that people who play jazz piano have an interest, but it's hard to see their interest if you're just walking around. If you look at them though, and if you have a demographic of, say, women who are 35 to 45 years old, that's then you can get more demographically split. If you have women 35 to 45 years old is a huge market. Well, what if you go down a little bit further and say women 35 to 45 who are college educated and make over 100,000 a year? Well, it's a smaller audience, but it's still a mass market. And what do women buy that are between 35 and 45 years old? Well, pretty much anything that you'd see in a grocery store. They have a lot of needs. They spend a lot of money. And when I focus on a demographic versus a niche or a singular pain point, what it does is it allows me to talk to a large group of people, and I'm able to help, or I'm able to reach out and get more people, and it'll be easier for me to monetize than if I just had a niche all the time. So if I had a list of, say, jazz piano players, well, what can I sell them? Jazz piano books, jazz piano stuff, and everything jazz piano. But then what? I'm kind of out of stuff. Whereas if I had a group of women, 35 to 45, college educated, made over $100,000 a year, what could I sell them? I could sell them things like things from Amazon. I could sell them car insurance. I could sell them insurance. I could sell them cell phones. I could sell them, if they have kids, I could sell them stuff about kids. If they have pain, I can sell them, things off of Amazon that deal with pain. Basically, I can sell them a lot more things, and so I can test a lot more different products, and then I can hone in and split off and segment my list later. But when I deal with a demographic, I can sell them anything, and that's kind of what I look to do initially is exactly look at a demographic versus a pain point. And most importantly about audiences is that they're humans. This is what I was just talking about. They're humans that buy every day for the rest of their lives. And when you have an audience and you're in a mass market and you're focused on a demographic, you will learn to speak that demographic's language, what they're interested in, and what they buy, which is pretty much everything. So monetization, we're also going to go through monetization. How do you monetize an audience? Because once you have an audience, then you have this really cool, fun process of creating money with that audience. And the way you do it is you find your audience and you learn what they're, that's pretty funny, what they're rabid about. But rabid is actually the word, not rabbit, but what they're rabid about. And then you sell to them. These people are, they may have some common interests, which is great. Right? So if you have a group of women, 35 to 45-year-old women who are runners, right? That's a pretty large mass market as opposed to a tiny niche. And, you ask them, hey, what are you interested in or rabid about? Then if you can sell them things that they're rabid about, not rabbit, but rabid, then you're going to be able to sell them more and more products over time. And there's a percentage of people who will buy. And the cool part is that never quite goes away. What happens is people who are in this audience may have a need today, but 6 months later, it might be somebody else. Or, the whole world is kind of like a constant parade of people. So if you're a parade guy and you own a hot dog stand and people are walking in front of you, somebody's always going to want a hot dog as the parade goes by. In other words, it never quite goes out of style. That's why I like mass market stuff. It never entirely goes out of style, but it does. The markets do kind of focus on different things, and the cool part is you can pivot and give them different things, and everybody's happy. So our mission with this class and this focus course is focus on the percentage of your audience that does buy and wants to buy again, and then really starts to like you and starts to trust your commentary, and then wants to buy from you over and over, and then just rinse and repeat, which is pretty cool. Now, once you understand the audience you're aiming at and what they want, so you can basically pay for as much traffic as you want, which I'll get to in a minute, you get to the acquisition part, which is also known as lead gen. Lead gen guys, for those who are traffic guys, there's lead gen guys, there's CPA guys, there's cost per acquisition guys, there's media buyers. All these different guys are trying to do something with their with the traffic, and lead gen guys are trying to get a lead and sell a lead, which is fine. And a lot of times lead gen guys will start there and finish there. They want to start at how much does it cost to get a lead and how much I can sell it for, and then they're done. They don't do anything else and they're done because they sold the lead, so they're gone. Whereas we're looking a little bit different. We want to only worry about acquisition and lead generation after we figured out the audience and what that audience typically buys. Okay. So you focus on acquiring the right audience, and then you use lead gen tactics to increase your list size or your lead count. Okay, so you're going to just focus on the right audience. Say, hey, I'm looking for people in the runner space or the fitness space or the workout space or the like car space or something like that. People who really like their cars, especially classic cars. You focus on acquiring the right audience. And then once you understand how to monetize that audience, you then just use lead generation tactics to consistently buy more and more leads. Now, if you're not made of a lot of money, which I'm not suspecting you guys are, if you don't have millions of dollars laying around, how do you keep growing your list? Well, we use a funnel called the Triple Scoop that will basically reduce your cost of leads. So if you buy one for $1 and then your funnel is making you 30 or 40 or 50 cents per lead, so suddenly your lead cost is way, way lower, then you can continue to grow your list using less and less money. And in fact, the goal is to get it to the point where the funnel converts so well that you have near zero costs for your lead generation. So imagine being able to spend a bunch of money on traffic and get it all back. And that's, I think that in the industry that's been known as a self-liquidating offer, that's more for people who produce products of their own and have to go through that. But we do it slightly different. The idea is the same. We buy some traffic, we give them an offer right up front through the funnel in our triple scoop bonus funnel, and boom. If we can get down to zero or at zero or even at a profit, we're in great shape. But I don't look at the funnels as giving us a profit just yet. I just want to reduce my cost of lead gen, okay? In order to do this, you have to understand your audience and what it is that they're interested in and what they want to buy and what pains they have and everything else. And I'm going to teach you what's called symptom marketing, not pain marketing, not how to find a pain. Pains are really high level. I'm going to teach you how to go for that unconscious symptom that they have, that they don't even know that they have a pain sometime till they've identified the symptom. They just know they're uncomfortable, but I will teach you symptom marketing. It's brilliant stuff. Love it. Once you understand how to monetize your audience, then you can start focusing on your lead gens and buying more emails and scaling your business up from a couple hundred people a week to a couple hundred people a day to a couple thousand people a day. And if you can get to a point where you can acquire 1,000 people a day and you can do it for free or even at a little bit of a profit, and then everything else you make on the back end is profit, it becomes an amazingly lucrative, very, very low hustle, low grind type process. This is quick. This is easy once you get these things figured out. You have to understand your audience really well. And there's really an old saying I really want to get across to you. The better you understand your audience, the more money you make from them. So Travis Sago told me this when I went out to talk to him one time. He said, if you understand your market 3 times better, you can make 3 times more money with the same effort. So that's what monetization is about, is understanding your audience. And what happens is the money starts to stack up. It's pretty darn cool, actually. So that's the triangle that we focus on. That's our strategy. Our high-level strategy is to focus on audience first, monetization second, and then scaling up with lead gen so that this can create money over and over and over and over for you. All right? Next time we'll get back to the lifestyle.